And action.
It fell.
How do you manage that?
I don't know. Why is this perfect? Go back.
The actual designing of the office I found really enjoyable, playing about with different positions of props and what looked the most natural and what looked unnatural. And in the end I think it came out really well, but it was challenging trying to get it to look like a lived-in office.
That's sick.
With tea bags, guys.
This is, oh no, these aren't. These are like actual props. Yeah, no, this stuff can just go on the top of those piles
Oh yeah.
on any desks. That's sick. So I would say so for the lighting, but I just don't know if it looks.
Charlie, what desks are you using?
Well, all will be used in the background.
Which is this?
That's why.
Now the next day was the office, and the team that actually work in the office we filmed in, they were incredibly kind and decided that they'd work from home for a day so that we could go in and film there, which was incredibly kind of them. But it meant we only had that one day to get all of the office stuff filmed, and a film about a girl who works in an office has quite a lot of office scenes, funnily enough.
Okay, so who are the biscuits for? It's a bit of
Why have you got to move it?
Because he's going for depressing, crappy office that no one wants to be in. They're not gonna have Easter, like, chicken paper towels and biscuits, are they?
Maybe they think they're happy, but they're not.
I'm not sure about that one. I feel like she should be more exposed to the office, you know.
Yeah.
When she walks in, for example, you've got like all of these desks filled with like the existing workers, you know.
Yeah. No, but like this looks too nice. Like they're having a horrible time at this company. They don't want like. Well, and this as well is a bit.
I mean, again, I don't think you should be using this desk room because you've limited your space. You're not
Yeah,
going to be able
okay,
to
okay,
film
okay,
that
okay.
freely, are you?
I'm just wanna. I won't use this desk then. We'll use like
Like even
this one.
this one, it's like you've got this space here, you've got all the way around here.
Yeah, but you're still gonna see this in
Yeah,
the
so
background.
then you should
I guess
use
so,
this one.
So I'm gonna.
Again, yeah, that one will probably work.
Yeah.
We might have to move Freddie Mercury.
No. Oh my god. Yeah, this is the one.
And Vienna, as production designer, was there to kind of all the stuff I didn't have time to think about. She brought so many like mugs and things like that to the office, which I would never have had the thought to even think about, but you'd be able to tell if they weren't there.
Richard's office here. Look at this. This did not look like this before. This desk was up against the wall, but because we don't have a conference room or anything like that, we've moved it so it's here, so people can come sit there. I need to get these chairs out. Where can I put these?
We kind of all knew that this day was going to be quite intense. I think there was about 20 pages, I think, for that day. Insane amount to film in one day. Like, stupid amount, but there's kind of no other option at that point. So I arrived at 8, and so did Vienna, and we got to work decorating the office. Now, because we were filming in a real office, a lot of the work was already done. It looked like a real office. Lots of things were laid out. The challenges was just making it look like the company we wanted it to look like. I spent hours on Photoshop and Illustrator designing all these posters. I made all the like fire exit signs, like fake documents and things. I was sat the night before with a pad of post-it notes writing random scribbles and notes on there to go and put down on people's desks. A load of stuff that no one would ever notice in the film, but you'd notice if it wasn't there. Stuff like the ID badges. I designed everyone an ID badge to wear, and it kind of just grounds the realism of the company. So at the beginning of the day, we would kind of just work it out, whose desk was going to be where we were going to put the posters, how we were going to hide the purpose of the original office and make it look like it's for the purpose that we want to show in the film.
Fairly important. If you could take a couple lines, there's like one scene where it's like the worst day at work ever, and you wheel over and start like shouting at her because she's not done something you needed doing.
On the Thursday, it was definitely the biggest day of filming. It was the one day where all of the crew, all of the cast, like everyone was there. We had quite a few extras as well. We were filming in the college, and the college was only open from a certain time because it was filmed during the holidays, so it meant we were under a bit more, I wouldn't say it was rushed. I think it was scheduled well enough for us not to be in a horrible rush the whole time, but it was a lot more scheduled and a lot more strict than the other days, because we didn't have nearly as much time and a lot more scenes to film. But I still think, like, regardless of that, it was very entertaining. I still think everyone enjoyed themselves.
I know. Yeah. Putting random stuff everywhere.
Just read my lines. My 3 lines.
Thank you so much for
Memorising them.
When I got there on the day of the office filming, so that was the second day of filming, there were quite a few people, way more than the first day, but it was like a good vibe. Like, people were talking and chatting, and it was a good vibe. I think there was definitely an air of stress because we had this office for one day, and a lot of the film is set in the office because that's where she works, and the film's about her job. And
pretty much for today, we're filming all the kind of tracking shots, all the like the Erin's first day at work, general office scenes this morning while you guys are here to fill up the office and be in the background, and then hopefully by about 12 we'll be completely done and you guys can all go home. And then this afternoon we're doing Erin's solo scenes in the office with whichever crew are free to pass the camera in the background just so it still looks full. And then after about 3, we'll do the solo scenes with Erin and Richard and hopefully be completely wrapped by 6. That's what I'm hoping. Yeah. That's what it's coming to.
Thanks for coming in, everyone.
Yeah,
and,
thank you so much.
Just try and make it as natural as possible. So look busy, you're at work, yeah? Okay.
On the first day, I think I was feeling more nervous than anything else. I wanted to do a good job, and I was conscious of the fact I'm no actor. I've done a bit of amateur stuff in the past, but not for very many years. And I was also ever so slightly concerned about the fact that my memory seemed to have failed and I couldn't remember any of my lines, and I was going to have to sort of secretly kind of slip bits of paper into folders and, I don't know, stick things on the bottom of mugs so that I could get a bit of a prompt. Luckily, I don't think any of that showed.
Now, having already done a day of filming, you'd think I'd be a bit in the flow and be less nervous, but I wasn't. It was such a tense start because there were so many people on this day. We had the most crew of any of the filming days on that day. We had a lot of the crew, people like Vienna and Amelia, sitting in and being extras. We had people coming specifically to be extras, and then a lot of kind of principal cast as well. For the first time, it felt like a big production. The day before had been quite a small group of people doing a small amount of things. Today was a 20-page day to get a lot of filming done, and I think about 16 people there, all kind of with their eyes on me, all listening and waiting for me to say what we're doing next or explain how we're doing something. It was a lot of pressure.
So I'm going to start on that sign there, with the logo, pull back like this. As I get to like here, can you pick up the phone and just start speaking some random stuff? Over here, Dan, if you could, once I get to about here, get up and like put that pile on Armina's desk.
Okay.
Just walk across the frame there. You're fine, Leo, just typing away, working. When I get to here, if you say you've been like speaking to her, you then walk across here.
And that's when Erin comes in.
And then that's when, yeah, the door open and everyone
goes silent.
Yeah. I might do that within the shot. I might stop here and then shout like now and then everyone turn and look.
Okay.
So yeah. Guys, once I've got back to about here, I'm just going to shout now. Rolling. And action.
Okay, so this is good.
Music capsule like
That's brilliant. Can I get you to read in those directions, please? Because they're really not on. They're just all over the place. It's terrible. Cressida, I want to make sure you're up to speed with this, please. System of
Now!
Ah! Erin! Made it then!
Cut. That's very much still in.
Oh,
So
the sound on that one sounded really cool though.
yeah, that's fine. I can use
How
it.
do I do it without... Where did I get in? Oh, there, right, okay.
If you just stay behind me,
Yeah, that's fine.
like don't go around this side, stay on the back side behind me. Right, that was very good, everyone. We're just gonna do that one more time.
I'm getting a sweat.
To the door, so where Sage is over there. Look straight at her and stare.
Having so many people look to you as soon as you say cut and go back to watch the shot, everyone's silent, everyone's looking, waiting for you to say, yeah, that was good, or no, we're going to do that again. And it was kind of something I probably wasn't prepared enough for. But it was fun. Everyone was so great, everyone was so kind, everyone was so willing. The pressure that was put on by them being there was nothing compared to the pressure I put on myself. So it was mainly my fault.
So working with Charlie always is a very easy and comfortable thing to do. He's one of my closer friends at college for a reason. He kind of operates on a very similar wavelength to me and to what I'm used to. So being assistant director, or trying to be assistant director, just wasn't a challenge, in the sense that if I was trying to get across an idea that I wanted to convey to him, he just sort of got it. Like he's quite obviously got the ability to see things in his head quite clearly when it comes to scenes, and a lot of my ideas that I might try to tell him, he's probably already thinking as I'm telling him. So it didn't take any like decoding or anything when I was trying to get across what was in my head, because it was already in his, essentially.
Action.
Okay, so this is actually
This is me.
rewrite. It's not good enough. Comprehensive means comprehensive, okay? Financial analysis is really got to be what he says on the tin, okay? Happy with that?
Yep.
Yeah, okay then. The president.
Now.
Erin is going to be here in a minute. In fact, you made it then.
Cut.
Welcome. Oh,
It's fine. Great. I think that's the one. Thank you very much.
That sounds really cool. You can hear all the keyboards and stuff.
Oh, good. I
Oh,
was
don't get quite loud there.
so I need to be in the same space when I say the next line.
It's like in your ears. Yeah. I think the only issue I faced trying to do sound was that as much as I'd worked on that kind of thing, I'd played that kind of role before, I hadn't done it on such a big scale on a project like this. So it meant I did find it quite difficult to get used to and keep up exactly what I was doing the whole day. I think that's what led to me making some mistakes and maybe not being in the right place at the right time at points. But I still think it went quite smoothly, considering the scale of the project, the amount of time we had to film it, and the amount of support and people we had. I still think it went very well.
And action. Go. Great, thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
What do we do after Charlie? Do we sort of turn back and get on with work, or?
Yeah. So a bit higher. There, if you stay there, you're fine. Okay, when you're ready, Eloise.
Right, sound.
Rolling. And action.
Made it then. Well, we're glad to have you with us. I'd like to introduce Erin, everyone. Newest member of the team. You'll make her all very welcome.
Favourite day of filming would definitely have to be the Thursday during the office scenes. Everyone was so in their zone. Everyone was so had all their jobs. They were all doing all their jobs brilliantly. Everyone was so focused. The direction was great. It was great film behind the scenes on that day because going up to people and seeing what they were doing in intricate detail and finding out what their job was, how they're feeling, it was like a beehive, all working it as one, all working together. It was great.
And there was a couple of things like we had a V mount that wasn't charged, and then I had to try and find the right charger for that, and then it was kind of a bit kind of everything goes silent, everyone's looking at you and you're trying to search for these like flight cases and find something, which wasn't how I'd have wanted to have it. But I think if you go through a whole day of film and get 20 pages done, and one of the biggest things that goes wrong is you have a battery that dies, I think you've done pretty well.
Procedures, IT support.
Thank you.
You'll need to complete them all online before the system will let you access your workload. I wouldn't come round if I knew you. Well, there's a lot you can do.
Okay, so where?
It's all on your workstation.
Workstation. Okay, right.
We'll move to when you arrive after being late. Coming from the bit that we filmed yesterday into the office.
I need to change your clothing, don't I?
Yes, please. And yeah.
I had quite a few costumes for Erin, and I knew that I'd be changing them quite often. And to help myself out, I kept the same jewellery, the same hair, the same makeup, and I kept that the same so that I didn't have to worry about, what jewellery was I wearing for this scene. I just had the same jewellery on the whole time. So the only thing that changed was my outfit. And I was like, what if I bring the wrong outfit? So I actually ended up bringing all of my outfits every day. I had about 7 outfits, and I just had them in like this big bag. I was like carrying it around on the train and stuff.
Fine. So I'll just be in here somewhere, shall I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you peer through the blinds.
That would be pretty cool, like a crush zoom onto your eyes.
Should we do that? Yeah, but how do I then to do a crushing and then you walk through there?
Yeah,
Do you
if
wanna
you
try it,
want. Yeah.
We'll give it a go, yeah. Seeing as
What have you got on there though? What lens is that? The 55?
Following on from the scene we filmed the day before, Erin enters the office and is late for work, and there's this shot in the film that shows her walking in through the door, rushing in, and then there's a crash zoom into Richard's face from his office, looking on in kind of disgust that she's this late. My chosen way of shot listing was to write it all on my script. So all of I've got some here. All of the pages of my scripts are incredibly messy. They look like this, and I've got random bits highlighted and colour coded. I've got letters and numbers everywhere. I've got written down in brackets next to each kind of line how I want to shoot that. Rather than making a list of shots we have to get, I use the script as a list of actions and then have kind of descriptions next to them of ideas of how to shoot it. The crush zoom was Dan's idea. He just kind of thought about it, I think as a joke, and said, we have like a crush zoom onto his face. And then I was like, should we just do it? And then we kind of had a little test. All right, well, look, we had the film was shot on an array of cameras, array of lenses. We used the FX3 for a lot of it. A lot of the gimbal work was on the FX3 because of how light and compact it is. And we had a set of Samyang Cine Primes and a G Master 16-35 for the wide shots for the Sony. And then we filmed some of it on Blackmagic and used the Diesel film picture zooms Really, really nice cine lenses, really, really nice glass. And you get kind of a zoom range of like a 20 to 55 on a lens, which is pretty good for a crash zoom. So as we were here, as we had all the equipment for it, we just gave it a go. And it was funny, but also put the message across, also slightly dramatic. And I really liked it, so we just went for it. And it was stuff like that that was kind of the most fun for me of the whole experience, was being able to be kind of creative on the spot and look at what was there in front of us and go, how do we kind of turn the actions that are happening into a story, and how do we tell that in a creative way?
Love it.
Is that it? You don't want all this junk in the way. Is that all that going to be in though in the shop? Or
No, can they go behind this desk? That's the tightest. So it would be,
yeah, that's
it would be like, I need to post on the show, but it would be like,
yeah.
Yeah.
So how will I know when
Yeah,
to do
it's
that? You'll
good.
just have to shout through.
it's just,
It is good. It's just this, we need to cover that.
yeah.
Just in college.
It's
We
like
need
a,
something, don't we?
so like if you put this,
Unless you move your...
put this here and then put these on top,
What are you trying to do?
does that block it from there?
Nope.
How much more
If
does
we
it
move the
need?
camera around here a bit more,
Oh yeah, that's true.
and then have your dad take a step to his left.
That's good enough, isn't it?
It is good.
It's very
It
good.
is good.
It's a great idea. Action. Cut. And action. Cut. I missed it. Can we do it again?
I mean, that proximity is something to play with there, I think.
Yeah.
It's intimidating to be stood, you know, that close.
I may, yeah, go backwards like this then. Sorry. And then pull around.
Let's try it. Let's just see,
Yeah. So, yeah. So if you're walking from the door, and then you overtake me, and I'll come to behind you.
Okay.
But as soon as we start the shot, you open the door and walk in.
Isn't the door already open? No, it's not.
No, it's not.
So will I hear when you started the shot?
Yeah. Action.
Yeah, this will be my midday, please, Mike.
But I mean, I've got.
Get these to me by midday, please, Mike. Okay.
Cut. Yeah, that was very good. That was really good.
Going to start a film, I was low-key chilling. It was actually it was very, very easy. I didn't do a whole bunch. I was kind of a bit warm because I was in like a full suit, but other than that, I was chilling. It was a lovely experience to say the least. It was very relaxing. It's a very refreshing film to be in. For the fact it was very professional yet relaxing. It was professional but wasn't. Everything felt like it was working in the cogs. Everything felt as if it was somewhat going well, I'd say. However, it all felt very relaxed at the same time. So it's such a very strange feeling being on the set of a film, a student film like that. You'd think it'd be chaotic and rushed. However, it was very all set out. Charlie did a fantastic job. It was bloody amazing, to say the least. That's the best way I can put it. It was bloody amazing.
Sound.
And action. Cut. You're getting me there. What? No, no, you're lying, you're lying.
I'm getting in the wrong. I'm going to stand over and scowl at them. Work hard.
Dean.
I have to say, like, Aaron, did you get the brief about the per diem? The brief about the per diem for the...
Per diem?
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
Per diem. What does per diem mean, Dan?
Per diem.
I'm just wondering, right, why
Isn't it
everyone
per
else is
day?
changing their clothes, but we're wearing the same clothes. You've changed your clothes like 5 times.
Yeah.
You come to work with the same clothes like every day.
Well, maybe I just haven't left
You
yet.
have multiple of the same outfit.
Maybe I've just been here the whole day.
Yeah, you're like Aaron! Yeah, like that. That worked.
There was a lot of scenes like that which were very funny to watch and quite difficult to take seriously as well, I think, when seeing it happen, because it's people we know and we're watching it all happen. Like it was all just quite strange. It was a bit more difficult to coordinate than the other days. I mean, it wasn't really our job. I think more for Charlie, because there's so many people that if just one person messes up, like that's the whole shot you have to refilm. And I think it was quite chaotic for him in that sense, but everyone else enjoyed themselves. I think we all had a great day.
I need an update on the grip equipment.
Yeah, that's all on the spreadsheet, Eliza.
I need the information on my system now. We can't just sort of get these orders by magic, you know. Erin! Did you get the brief about the per diem for the...
Yeah, the information's all there. Could I get an account and just send that over to you?
Erin! Where the fuck are you? Per diem for the... Erin, did you get the brief about the per diem for the contract? Erin, did you get the brief about the per diem for the contract? I can't really. So sorry. Where's the reason?
Action.
Hello, this is Eliza from Television. I need an update on the grip equipment,
Yeah.
please.
That's all on the spreadsheet, Eliza.
Yeah, great. I'm very happy with that.
Yeah. Very good. Well done, guys. Very good.
Yeah, that was great. I was going to check
It's really warm in here.
transition next.
My shoe fell off and I had to just keep running, and we just had to, every single time I was ending up in the shot as well, because I couldn't see, like, I can't really focus on holding everything, running and watching where I'm going at the same time.
I'm glad that was you and not
We had
me.
to refilm it so many times.
But I couldn't have been happier with everyone that agreed to come and help me out with my little film idea, because the atmosphere was really, really nice in the office. It was so kind of relieving for me that all these people that I knew from various different places, whether it was Sage who'd auditioned to be in the film, whereas it was my parents who were acting in it, whether it was my friends from college who were coming to be in the crew, whether it was people like Vienna, who is the production designer. I know her because I play in a jazz band and she plays the drums in it. Like, everyone comes from such like random little parts of my life, and then it's like the multiverse joining. Everyone's in the same room together at the same time, and everyone got on so well, and it was such a nice environment to film in.
On the office day, the atmosphere was great. I'd never met anyone there, and I just had an amazing time. You know, it was so fun meeting new people.
Oh, the atmosphere on set was very relaxed. It was very jovial, convivial. Everybody was very friendly. And I think it was just a fun set. It was obvious that everyone was having a good time. Everyone was keen to make sure, you know, that everything worked as well as it could possibly work. But it was quite relaxed and very well organised, really. I thought everything seemed to go well from one scene to the next. Everyone seemed to know what they were doing, and yeah, it was good.
The atmosphere during the office scenes was great. It was friendly. It was hard working, like very focused atmosphere. It was like I wouldn't say rushy. It was like efficient and quick. Very creative, very good. All the positive things. I can't think of anything negative to say, really.
Anytime Charlie does something that he should be doing,
There needs to be a whip band to Dad and a crash scene. I know, the last shot is like, it's like me laughing, and then I reach over for something, and then it comes to you and you're laughing, and then you go straight busy and go, I'll turn it off. So funny.
At least you cut it off as soon.
Can you cut, please?
do the thing now.
The
thing, do the thing.
I've given him too much power. Stop filming me. Film somebody else. That space of time, so.
I just looked at the clock and saw that it's 2:05, and I was like, oh my god, we're so behind. It's not.
You're about an hour and a half ahead of schedule, I think.
We have. What? Thank you. Action. Cut. Yeah, that's good. It's great. The time to something because then it's gonna end on the clock and then cut to Zach going, oh, someone's early. You didn't get that, did you?
I did. The whole thing.
me dropping a clock.
Probably the interview scene, I think. I quite liked that. But that was quite short. The meeting scene, I don't know. I didn't really. I was playing an absolute bastard, so I didn't really. And I was in the zone, darling, so I wasn't enjoying any of it. I was entering into my Stanislavskian method acting.
On the Thursday, when Tim came in, he had to do a pretty intense scene in an office. And I could tell, even when the room was set up, I could tell stuff was about to go down. You know, it was crazy. And filming behind the scenes on that was hard, because I was trying to keep the camera still, and he was like slamming the desk down and stuff, making me jump and stuff like that. It was crazy. It was good stuff though.
Okay, least favourite. Well, I probably think the least favourite was the one where we'd had the social media bust up and I had to be a complete and utter bastard as far as Erin was concerned. And she was so, I don't know, sweet, innocent, everything that you don't want to do as a mean and horrible boss and be aggressive and shouty. I would never behave that way as a boss, and I hope nobody who was an employee in any capacity would ever put up with that kind of behaviour. But having to behave like that, having to behave like a complete and utter arsehole was quite difficult. Not because I find that kind of thing but difficult, but because it was so hard to play in that situation with that character, because she's really the star. She was so good.
I think the first time we did this scene, I actually physically jumped. Like, that was a genuine reaction because he's such a good actor. He's so good. And I wasn't expecting it. Like, it made me jump so hard. It was really scary, actually. He was quite intimidating.
So how is it that somebody in his company can lose a $15 billion deal over some ignorant, infantile use of one of these idiotic devices? Because somebody was with their friends or their family of the fucking world! And as a result, on my head.
Obviously, I also was in it very briefly. Working with his dad was tense because his dad was fantastic. I didn't expect it, but he was a very convincing boss and a very scary one as well. So for the scenes where I was in the office, they were all scenes where he was shouting at me or me and other people. So, I mean, I was taken aback, but I think if that is shown in the film, how surprised I was, it probably just adds to the film, because obviously that's what I'm supposed to look like. But yeah, it was pretty weird seeing his dad be so mean, since the only times I'd ever met him beforehand, he's just a very lovely man.
And this is probably my favourite scene in the film. I love how it plays out. I love how tense it feels. I thoroughly enjoyed writing it. It was one of my favourite scenes to kind of think up. and my dad played Richard, and he did such an incredible job. The day before the office scenes, him and Sage were sat on the sofa reading through the lines, and he was struggling to kind of remember bits, and he was kind of constantly stopping and saying, how should I do this? Or we were talking through the kind of motives behind what the character's doing in this part. Now, I mentioned him not being able to remember the lines. We had some quite creative techniques for that. I made a load of kind of media capital documents with like graphs and stuff on, and really small text, and the text is actually like random nonsense, and then there's like a couple lines of the script and then like a graph at the bottom or something, so it looks like he's just got a folder in his hand of kind of business work, but it's actually there if he wants to glance down and have a look at the script, which was quite a fun solution to the problem. But I couldn't stop smiling while we were filming this scene. He absolutely showed up, and it was terrifying to be in the room during that scene. And that was one of the most fun scenes to kind of see the vision come to life, see what had just been in my head play out in front of me. And I was just beaming watching it. I was scared I was going to catch the eye of one of the actors and then they'd smile or something, because I couldn't stop myself. It was just so perfect.
Or their family! Or all the fucking world for all I know! And they've quite rightly objected to having their name, their good name, dragged through the mud.
Cut. Oh, that was brilliant.
That's
great. That's fine. So the rest of them are going to be close-ups on them, so you don't have to.
Oh, good.
As long as the lines are said, you don't have to have the expressions or the shouting.
Well, I should even be in here.
Yeah, you've got to say the lines.
You got to say
Not act them.
No,
though.
just you can read them.
I'm going to put this here so we can have a watch of it, because genuinely, this is insane.
My hand hurts.
You did this quite
I
hard.
know. Look at it. Look at my hand. Oh. Can't tell I'm looking down reading it, can you?
No, it's great.
I didn't realise you were doing that.
It's got the script on there.
Oh, well, yeah, of course, it's my method, darling.
It's insane.
It's
Right.
good.
Sorry.
Good.
Sorry.
Next one.
How could someone here jeopardise a deal that big?
That's exactly what I want you to find out. Because someone, somewhere, associated with this company has tweeted some drunken, late-night, lazy, ignorant criticism. Oh, are you
Yes.
sure?
Yeah.
Brilliant, great. And
What
so
time
I'll
is
be
it?
back. It's 12:20.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Do you want a copy of the minutes?
Type them up for me, please, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Email me them. And while you're at it, do something about your attire. We have clients coming in here.
Oh, that was
I'm gonna
insane.
listen to
That was
these.
insane. That was crazy. Sorry.
This
Sorry.
is still going to be used for the interview later, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got stuff for
They'll
this.
leave,
I'm
leave,
gonna
leave it
get,
as it is.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
I'm really scared.
I'm so glad you
I
cast
sense a
your
best
dad.
actor nomination here.
Jesus.
It's good. It's very good.
And I did some on the 16mm on here.
Yeah.
And these look insane. It looks like security camera footage. It's like you're not supposed to be there. Wow. Look at that.
Yeah, well done.
Very well done, man.
Outstanding performance.
All in a day's work, darling.
Fruit pastel, wine gum.
This scene's crazy.
I know, and this as well. I did a shot from behind.
Yeah.
And then I did a take where I was just moving between these three on a close-up.
I wish I was there to see that in the cinema, you know.
You heard it, you got it right when he said I've won the film festival. You got that. Didn't
Yeah,
you?
I got that, yeah.
We did a couple of shots in the lift for the montage and a couple of other bits during the film, and then we broke for lunch and we had sandwiches. Me and my mum made like an industrial quantity of sandwiches, and we brought cold pizza and crisps and stuff and laid out a kind of little buffet table, and everyone just got on so well. It was so nice to kind of, for the first time, not be worrying about what's happening next, to just have a little breather and relax with everyone, and it was so much fun.
Oh, it's insane.
No, I had your shoes squeaking. I nearly tripped over.
That was great. Look at this though.
Yeah, I know, but look.
But don't get out. I'm not going to carry on.
Look right down the camera.
Right, try again then. Perfect. Cut. Thank you. Can I get one of you on your own in the list?
But because it had been such a nice time, it was a bit hard to get back started after lunch. Now I've made my first film, now I've done this and had this experience, I kind of know a bit more about how the day plays out. And I would definitely not have scheduled a lot of the montage shots straight after lunch, because these were kind of the hardest shots to film, because you set up and you get ready and you do one shot that lasts for maybe 10 seconds and will only be about a second of the film, and then the next shot is something completely different that's supposed to be a couple of months later or a couple of weeks later, to kind of show the time passing as Erin starts the job. So it was very stop-start. It was very much like, right, we'll get an insert of you typing on the keyboard, then we'll come here and then change jumper and we'll get a shot of you putting the headphones on, and then we'll go over here and get a shot of the clock on the wall, and then we'll change the time and do another shot of the clock on the wall. And the montage is one of my favourite sequences in the film. It's probably one of my favourite kind of sequences I've shot ever. I really, really like how the montage looks visually and plays out, and I'm really happy with the shots, I'm really happy with the colour grade, but it was just mind-numbing to film shot after shot of like nothing. And especially doing this after lunch, getting everyone like rallied back up to be serious again and begin was not easy.
She's supposed to adjust a microphone as well. Is there a headset anywhere?
What film is it?
We found some headsets.
What's going on?
If you grab a headset, that'd be because you need to adjust a microphone.
Cut. Sorry, the walk got me. The walk got me. I'm so sorry. Your walk's like it was the walk.
We filmed a lot of montage shots for the film, and it was very tedious work. Very tedious, very picky, kind of time consuming, but it was worth it. Like, I just know, in my mind, I just know it's gonna look so sick.
Great, we filmed like nothing for an hour. It's not going as well as it was. Yeah, move, get away where you are. Just trying to read.
Getting harassed.
So you're just looking like increasingly tired in this. This is like.
Am I doing?
Just busy. So like, do one type on that. So do one where you're taking a phone call.
Okay.
And when someone walks past, change what you're doing basically.
Okay.
Or like spin your chair slightly or something like that. Right, yeah. When you're ready, could you walk across? Yeah, action. Right, so then could you put the headphones on and can you walk across again, please, Leo?
Okay, I'm a walking man.
You are indeed. Yeah, action. Great, thank you. At her desk, she takes a resignation letter out, goes to his office, does that bit. You right? The whole bit in the office, comes back, the like kind of build up to the piano bit, and then the bit in the office after the piano bit, and then that's done.
We were kind of rationalising shots. I was sat watching us run out of time, sat with the script, like highlighting shots that I could do at home, like a load of the shots of on the computer screen, highlighting stuff that we didn't have to do on this day at this time, because I was worried we wouldn't be able to fit it all in. And a couple of my favourite moments happened in it. There's one bit where we had people crossing the camera, and I, in the editing, masked them out and cut to a different shot underneath so that Erin jumps position. Then we had another shot inspired by a director called Danny Gewirtz, where it's a wide shot of Erin at her desk, and then it match cuts to the same position at night because she stayed so late to get all her deadlines met. This was kind of an idea that I had in the back of my head that maybe it'll work out, maybe it won't. We set the shot up and I closed all the blinds to see how dark we could make it, and then thought, oh, okay, that doesn't look too bad. And then we got a little aperture light, set it to orange, put it in front of the monitor. Oh, that looks really nice, that looks like a lamp. And set that up, filmed the shot, left the camera where it was, took the light away, opened all the blinds, and put everyone back in the office, filmed the same shot, and then reversed them and cut them together. And I think it's such a nice moment, and it has so much impact in the story. Oh no, it needs a lamp.
Mm-hmm. It does, it needs a warm sort of hue to it.
No lamps.
There's literally none, is there?
So, like,
Yeah, okay. And then once I've done that, I'm not going to touch the camera. Open all the blinds again, and have the same of her working at day. Right. So it'll cut to night time in the same spot, which I think will look quite nice. It's the scene, like going into the piano bit. I think I'm not, you know, the bit where it's like supposed to look like the desk is a piano. I can't be bothered to get that sorted. So it'll just be like, I could just change the music so that it starts on like a chord. So if you literally like, you're like, oh my god, going crazy. You go like that. I'll get the framing right, and then on Saturday when we're at the place, I'll pull it up on the camera and try and frame it the exact same. So you do that, and it just cuts into the place, and then that makes that easier. Sorry?
You don't want it to fade into being a piano. You want it to cut.
I think it's going to be too long to get the desk to look like one. I don't think. Right. I think we don't have enough time to make it good, and if it's bad, it's really bad.
Okay. I get how that could look really silly if it's not long enough. That's fine.
Now everyone kind of filtered out during the day. I'd scheduled a lot of the shots tracking through the office, a lot of the shots of Erin going in and out towards the start of the day while we had all the extras there. And then as we got further into the filming, it was more close into Erin's desk, meaning people who had given up their time to be extras didn't have to stick around all day.
Got a minute? Oh, of course you have. Bring your coffee.
Cut.
Is that good?
I think so.
Yeah. Yes.
Hey Anthony. How you
I'm
doing,
doing
man?
well to
I'm doing
keep
good.
track of all the costume changes and, you know.
That's unexpectedly the hardest bit,
Yeah.
knowing which stuff is happening on which day. Right, I'm just gonna do a quick shot from the side of you just waiting at the printer screen.
Okay.
Can you reach over and get it now, please? Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you, bye.
By the end of the office stuff, Dan and Anthony and Eloise were still there, and they started cleaning up the office once we'd finished in there. They started taking down all the posters and stuff and getting it back to how it was before, while we went into Richard's office and we filmed the solo scenes with Richard and Erin. Now this was like 5 o'clock and we had to be out at 6, so it was very, very rushed, and we had a couple of very important scenes to film, such as the job interview and a load of the meetings she has, quite integral to the plot, and just not enough time to do them. So we were like rushing to set up a shot. Like Sage was going and getting changed into the outfit she was supposed to be wearing on that day. Sitting down, I'd set up 2 cameras. We'd do a close-up on Richard, a close-up on Erin at the same time, and then we'd do another wide shot, and then that was it. 2 takes done, move on to the next one, get changed, reset, next scene, which was just the nature of having so much to film in one day. But all things considered, I can't complain with how the scenes turned out. My dad and Sage were so good at being on it with their lines. They both had done their research. Like, my dad was pretty integral in the kind of early stages of the film when I said, oh hey, I've thought of this idea, how about I make a film about this? So he kind of knew what was expected of each scene, what they should all feel like, and Sage had done so much work learning all the lines, reading the script, and never hesitate to ask me, how should this be, or what do you want here, whenever she wasn't sure. But also she was good enough to not have to do that all the time, and I was happy to just let her play the character how she wanted to, because her ideas were really good and often just perfectly matched how I wanted it to feel. So that made it a very easy shooting experience from my point of view, because a lot of the time I could say, right, this is the job interview scene, and they'd both be in, they'd know what was happening, and we could get it done really quickly.
That's fine. I think it peaks slightly as the door shut.
I couldn't care less, Eloise. The office is done, we're finished. I'm sorry. Right, perfect, great, done.
Well done, mate.
Done.
A little round of applause there.
It was so kind of unforgiving to get back after this day of filming 20 pages, lay down and think, oh god, it's over, and then have to straight away think about what we're filming tomorrow. And with the day in the flat coming up tomorrow, we kind of didn't have much time to relax after the office.
Stop speaking if you listen well.